Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 44 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So, before we get started, I'd like to mention my background. This is a painting by Lana Carolan, and it's one which I love. And she was kind enough to allow me to use it. Okay, so we're looking today at lesson 82. This is from our review. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness, and let me not forget my function. I'm using exactly the same contemplation I wrote last year because it's a good example of a very important point I'm going to make at the end. The last set of lessons assures me that I am the light of the world. I am literally the light of the world. But how does that affect anything? How do I bring that light into the world to be witnessed by others and thus to bring them peace? Well, I can tell you how I didn't do it yesterday. I was having an ego moment or two, or many. It was the end of the day, and maybe I could blame it on being tired. I suppose it might have been frustrating that my plans were not working. I had lost my driver's license and had spent a lot of time trying to find it, but to no avail. I didn't feel like I could spare that time, but it had to be done. So it was really frustrating that it was wasted time. I realized I was just going to have to bite the bullet and go to the motor vehicles department for another one. It wasn't the replacement cost that made me dread going. It was a wait time that was a perceived problem. I got there late in the day and waited an hour, but never saw anyone before it closed. Then there were other things that contributed to my bad mood. I seldom get into a bad mood anymore, but I certainly did yesterday. As a result, I heard myself having a political discussion with someone that I later regretted. Well, actually, the words were hardly out of my mouth before I regretted them. However, one thing happened that should have cheered me right up. I looked again for my driver's license, asking my higher self for help finding it if it was in the house. I was guided right to it. Instead of simply being grateful, I was further disgusted with myself that I hadn't done this before. By this time, I was exhausted as well as frustrated and just went to bed. This morning, my tantrum was over. I woke up excited to do today's lesson. That's the thing. We're never guilty of our errors. They are simply mistakes to be corrected, not sins to be punished. Our true self is not affected by them. Yesterday, before the problem that I failed to meet with forgiveness occurred, I was still as innocent as God created me. All during the unfortunate choices I made, I was still as God created me. And this morning, it was just as true. Nothing can affect what God created me to be. Today, I will try again not to forget my function, to forgive. And I will appreciate the effort regardless of how successful or unsuccessful it seems to be. Jesus is not asking me to demonstrate perfection in form. He's asking me that my function he's showing me that my function is much simpler. I bring peace not by managing my life perfectly, but by forgiving what I see, including my own reactions. This is how the light extends quietly, gently, and without effort, bringing peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.